Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Live Dive. I hope the week has been treating you well, and good news, the weekend is right around the corner. Before I dive into our scripture for tonight, I got a few announcements for you, something I've been pushing for the last couple of weeks. One is this, you know that the youth group, the high schoolers, have a mission trip coming up this summer. Well, so does the bridge. So do you guys. It is to the mission trip this summer will be to the Virgin Islands, specifically St. Croix, which is a beautiful island, but has been hit hard by hurricanes. And also there's a lot of people we can minister to, especially the single mothers who were kind of left to themselves to raise their children. There's a lot of ministry opportunities for you and I to minister to them on this trip. It will be through maybe a basketball camp. We can maybe help set up things, painting and things like that, and even medical missions are all going to be involved in this trip, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to serve. Stay tuned for the specific dates of when we will have this mission trip, or you can ask Brett and Angie Frazier at our church. Just keep in mind that we will be having fundraisers as we go along, so that the cost of this mission trip will go down, and you won't have to be paying quite so much for the trip itself. It should be probably in the month of July, but we will give more details as they come. Also, the other thing I've really been insistent upon, something I really want to push for you guys in the bridge, is Passion 19. That is the event for college students to go to. 18 to 25-year-olds are invited. It will be January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of this coming year, obviously, of the next year, I should say, in Atlanta. And the premier preachers, speakers, and Christian musical artists come to this, and it is a life-changing, reviving event. All you have to pay for is the event and for food. The event takes place over 3 days. It's about $139, but that cost will go down as well as the mission trip will, because of the fundraisers and the things we're going to be doing to raise money. So just get involved. Let me know if you would like to go, because we need to hop on this. This is a hot event, and it sells out pretty quickly. So let's dive into what we want to talk about today. Every Thursday during this month, we talk about specifically, well, just in time for this past week and yesterday with Valentine's Day, we're talking about marriage and family. Marriage and family. But today I would specifically want to bring up to you this idea of passing it on. And when we think of passing it on, we think of our parents or our grandparents passing things on down to us. And so that's kind of what I thought as well, the importance of parents passing on to us the knowledge and the wisdom that they have acquired over the years, and maybe telling us some of the mistakes that they've made that they want to make sure we don't make. It's that idea of investing in us. And so I started looking up in the Bible places, verses that really talk about this importance of passing it on, so to speak. And I actually came across a very interesting verse, and it's just found in 1 John chapter 2, verse 1. If you remember, that is John, one of the disciples of Christ, and he wrote letters just like Paul did in the New Testament. And this is what he said in 1 John chapter 2, verse 1. He said, "Little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not." A very simple way of starting that chapter, but John is simply saying, he's saying, hey guys, my fellow believers, the reason why I'm writing this letter to you is that you can avoid the pitfalls, or you can avoid committing the same sins that maybe other believers have, or you can just avoid making those life-altering mistakes that could just completely change your outlook on life, or maybe your direction in life. It's something that maybe God didn't want for you. So John is saying, I'm investing in you. I'm passing this on to you so you don't commit the same sins that maybe I have, or some of my generation have committed. And I thought, isn't that really, again, what parenting is about, is passing things on down to their children so that they don't make the same mistakes that they made, that they don't commit the same sins that they've committed? It's important for parents to be able to do that. And I came across an awesome quote talking about the importance of parenting and passing this on from a man named Frederick Douglass. Many of you have heard that name from history. He lived in the 1800s and was a very influential voice in the abolitionist movement, which was fighting against slavery. And he said this, that it is easier to build strong children than repair broken men. I thought, how true is that? You know, that our parents are investing in us so that we are no longer broken, that we don't fall into the same traps that they do, because then life will be a lot harder for us. So this is the challenge I want to leave with you today. Actually, two challenges that I want to leave you today. The first is this: to thank your parents or grandparents or whoever your guardians were that invested in you, that passed it on down to you, that so that you would avoid making the same mistakes they did. But also, the second challenge I want to give you is that even though many of you aren't married and many of you don't have children, make that stand today that when you do have children, that you have the same attitude that your parents or grandparents had, and being willing to pass on down your knowledge, your wisdom, and the lessons that you've learned to your children, so that they, as John said, don't sin or commit the same sins or fall into the same pitfalls that maybe you fell into. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's live dive and that it was a challenge for you. Be sure to come on out to Sunday school on Sunday at 10 a.m. upstairs in the gym mezzanine here at the First Free Will Baptist Church of Tampa. Free donuts and orange juice as always, so be sure to come on out. But until then, guys, have a good night. God bless and have a great weekend.